Erev Shabbat Shalom. Here in Israel, we'll be reading the Shabbat Parashat Shelach, Shlach Lecha Anashim. Send for yourselves people, Latur et haaretz, to look at reality. And in fact, when the Jewish people are on the edge of entering the land of Israel, God is leading the way. Yet they say, what's going to be? We want to know what the future will hold. And God tells Moses, send 12 people to tour out the land, to spy out the land. And they return with the Dibara'ah, they return with a statement. 10 of the 12 return with a statement, the land is good, but we can't do it. It's too hard. And there's somewhere inside all of us, each of us, in times we hear that the challenges we face are in fact too difficult, too challenging, too hard. And logic, democracy says if you have 12 spies, 10 return with the message is too hard, and 2 say, Yachol nuchal, we can surely do it, ki lachmenu heim, for just as we consume our bread, we can consume this land and we can make it happen. Any rational person would listen to the 10 and not to the 2. In fact, that's what the Jewish people do. And for that reason, they spend the next 40 years wandering the desert. Interesting to note, not necessarily as a punishment, but as a statement of, you don't believe you can do it? You're right, you're not going to be able to do it. And therefore, you'll spend the next 40 years wandering this desert. And the very next story is so significant and so telling. The very next story is the moment they get the message telling them they can't come into the land of Israel and spend the next 40 years wandering around the desert, and there in this desert, everyone who's over the age of 20 will die and only their children will live out their dreams. V'yeshkimu baboker, they wake up the next morning in verse 40. V'yalu el rosh hahar lemor, they come to the top of the mountain and they say, Eleh al makom asher amar Hashem. We're going to go up to the place that God chose. Ki chatanu, we sinned, and we're going to right now take that opportunity that we didn't take yesterday. And the opportunity is gone. And Rav Soloveitchik suggests that in life we hear historical moments, historical opportunities in our personal lives, in our collective lives, in our national lives, perhaps even in our universal lives. And if you don't act with the right timing, the next morning you can say, I'm ready to do the right thing, but it might be too late. And it teaches us the fierce urgency of now. And at so many moments in our lives, we're given amazing opportunities. And oftentimes those opportunities are counterintuitive. The right intuition would be follow the voice of the 10 spies rather than the 2. But our sages come and tell us, and the Torah itself tells us that the 2 were right, not the 10. That doesn't mean we don't respect democracy, but we are not afraid to think outside of the box. We're not afraid to march to our own drum. We're not afraid to take opportunities, knowing that they might not return. And that's, in fact, one of the great lessons of the spies. I bless us that as we come into this new week, we have the courage to seize opportunities and to have the courage to live our dreams and believe not that we are too small, but in fact that we are capable, able, and blessed with infinite capacity. Shabbat Shalom.